should be back up. Right, so YouTube back up. So we have this first part. I will lift up my eyes. Psalm 121. Right, so right here. Psalms 121. Right, so we have, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills from whence no, it's blocking. I get one part. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills. Unto the hills. From we're going to take it piece by piece. So we had Asha'ah, right? I will lift up mine eyes onto the hills. So right. Right, so I will lift up my eyes onto the hills from whence. So writing it from the Hebrew, no, it's how. Ha, Hava, Ha, Havaya. If you're able to see it properly on the Facebook, Haharayam Ma'ayan. Ma'ayan. Those are the rights divided in the so I should be able to see it there. So what we have here now so I will lift up my eyes unto the hills from whence. So al is the equivalent for unto. So al, unto, ha is the hills. The ha, ra, or ha is hill. Ha, har, yam is hills. Yam makes it plural. So ha is hill, ha, yam is hills. So the hills is ha, har, yam. So al, ha, har, yam onto the hills from ayan is whence. Ma'ayan from. So ma from whence, ma'ayan from whence. So this is al with the connectors. Connector is very important. Ha, har, yam. Ha, har, yam. Ha, har, yam. Right? Ma, yan. Ma, yan. So that is where you put in your connectors to get the pronunciation correct. So al, unto, ha, the, ha, hill, ha, yam, hills, the hills, ma, yan, from whence. From whence. So again, we're going to do it step by step, and we're going to be able to get the breakdown as we go through, right? Piece by piece, so that you're able to get the full force or the full breakdown of Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Again, like, share, and subscribe. All our social media handles. So we'll give you all a minute again just to take it down. So you'll be able to get that understanding of exactly what is taking place. And it's about time, you know, so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Indians get back their history, their language, and their culture. But every other nation, every other people have their history, their culture, their language. And they are the ones, you know, who are over us. We are the ones in captivity. So guess what? So we have to learn what their customs, their language. And because of, you know, us not holding on to the Most High, we have the curses of the Most High coming upon us as a people, not just as individuals. Right? So that is something that, further put, that gap between us knowing who we are, and our oppressors, putting us in captivity and stripping us of all what we had. But then we have, the Most High always leave a remnant of his people to keep on his laws, his commandments, and his statutes, right? And that remnant keep passing down through the ages, all through slavery, come right down to the 7 heads, in the genesis of I.S.U.P.K and the commanding General Yahanna. And that was passed down to commanding General Yahanna, who is the leader of the nation of Israel today. Right, so do you all have that already? So that you can be able to get the pieces and put them together. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Right, so let's get the rest of this particular sentence. So the first part we have is that I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. From whence, we go to the other part. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence, we go to the other part, which is cometh my help. From whence cometh my help? Again, we take it piece by piece. So we break it down in nice chunky pieces so that you'll be able to grasp everything that's being said. So, cometh my help is Yahba'a, Yahba'a, I is a Yah. This in the Hebrew is Yah, Ba, Yahba'a. Is Yahba'a, Yahba'a. Yahba'a, Isaiah. So that is Isaiah. Isaiah. I, Za, Ra, Ya. It's just the individual letters being pronounced. But when you put in the connectors, then you'll be able to get the full understanding. But when they say it in the read off in English, is Ya, Ba'a. Each letter is pronounced individual. Ya, Ba'a. So the connectors, when we know is Ya, Ba, A. Isaiah, Isaiah, I, Zar, or Zar, in this case, Isaiah, Isaiah. So I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. Cometh is Yah or Ba'ah, but Yah Ba'ah cometh. It pronounces the word cometh, bringing it in context of who or what is speaking to. So it's coming to who? You, Yah. Coming to you as an individual, cometh my help. So Yah Ba'ah, Isaiah. Help in the Hebrew is Isaiah. Isaiah is come, it's like Isaiah is help. Isaiah is my help. So you have my help, and I should say my come, but it wouldn't be my come, it was come met. Right? So so it's help. My help. And this is come met. But is come or go. Let's get that in the blue letter Bible so you get a little more context. Now it have no O vowel in the ancient Hebrew, but the so-called Jewish man has a O. They pronounce it a kind of halfway off. They say ba was ba'a. This means to go or to come. But it's pronounced ba'a. You'll be able to see it. Right, so I think you get it there. Right, to go or to come. You should be able to see it there. Right, to enter, to come in, to come with, or to come upon, come to pass. This is the context where you can be able to use ba'a. In this case, ya ba'a, which is cometh. So the first sentence is Asha'a, Ayanya, Al Harayam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, cometh. Isaiah, my help. Isaiah is help. Isaiah is my help. So Yaba'a, Isaiah. So that is the ancient Hebrew and the translation or pronunciation in the English. So I'll give you a few minutes again to get this in. As you know, we have all the events happening right now in the US, from Trump to Biden, and showing you the whole deception of, you know, this US election. This is sidebar a little bit, and not just in the US, but even right down here in Trinidad, you see, you know, we have election or local government elections coming up in Trinidad, and you see all the snakes and all the other persons who were hiding all the time before, don't care a rat about the people, but when time comes for election, all of a sudden, you know, they are the heart of the people. They know what's going on. You know, they all want to hear your complaints. All the time, you know, the roads wasn't bad, the roads was bad. All of a sudden, you know, the roads had to get fixed. All to solicit or to bribe you. Basically, that was a way to bribe you to get your votes. Right? As you know, we're not supposed to vote as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian. We only have one king, and that is our king, Yahweh. We're not supposed to vote for any other person. So we don't vote in the I.S.U.P.K. Right? No blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians supposed to vote. So we have that first part. So just a sidebar, you know, you're seeing how they use deception, even with Kamala Harris, who's the vice president of the US, touting her as the first black, you know, vice president, black woman. But Kamala Harris is not black. Her father, based on is of Irish descent. His forefathers who came Irish descent came into Jamaica, right? Her foreparents, you know, on her father's side were slave owners, and they had a lot of estates and a lot of wealth on that side in Jamaica. And her mother is East Indian, so there's nothing black about her. She has brown skin, as how the East Indians have brown skin, but she is not black. Black again is a so-called color, but she is not a black person. Black in consideration to the slaves who came out of the slave ship. She is not the descendant of no black, Hispanic, or Native Indian person. So she cannot be a so-called black woman as they taught her to be. But as you know, the deception is to, you know, bring it like that so that they can solicit and deceive you. And it's no different than what they do down here in Trinidad and many other places where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are in any mass number, so that they can use you and coerce you to do or to get what they want out of you. And then after that, once the election is done, once the deed is done, guess what? They're back to their same old ways in destroying blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So we have this first part. Let's jump back into the lesson. That was just a little sidebar. So we have that part. I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. I said, my help cometh. My help cometh. My help cometh from So I did it previously. we had my help. And you know, help is Isaiah. Isaiah. I think you're able to see that one, so let's change the color. So let's just check and see together. This one's totally done now. Second. Yeah, it's water.
That is 200.
Right, so this is Isaiah. Right, so my help coming from my help. Isaiah, my help. Remember, Hebrew is a direct language. My help cometh from my I. So we have Isaiah, my I. In the Hebrew, we have the I, Za, Ra, Ya, I, Zar, Ya, Ma'ima, Ma, I, Ma. My help cometh from. Let's say my help coming from. So help from. What the next part? Coming from the Lord. Which made heaven and earth. Right, so the Lord which made heaven and earth. So we had a while ago, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. So we know the Lord's name in the ancient Hebrew is what? Yahweh. So Isaiah, Mayam, Yahweh, Aisha, so like Aisha, Aisha, Shamayam, Shamayam, Wa, Aratiza. Aratiza. Right. So this separating this is the English here. Now we're going to write the Hebrew. So again, the Most High's name in the Hebrew is Yahweh. So I write it here. Yeah. Not Yahweh, not Yahovah, none of that. When you look at the ancient Hebrew, this is what you will see. Is Yahweh. You're going to see all the other things that the Christian church try to pronounce and pronounce it in the Jewish man's language, which is Yiddish. Right? That is not our language. So you have his name Yahweh, Aisha, Aisha, or Aisha, Yahweh. Aisha, Shamayam, so we're going to break down now. Shamayam is heaven. Sha, Ma, Yam. Sha, Ma, Yam. And the last part, Aratiza, or Wa Aratiza. Wa, Ra, Tiza. So Wa, Batiza. So you're going to get a breakdown here now. So again, English is from left to right, Hebrew is from right to left. So this here is the Lord giving you the literal translation. Right, which means right, so Asha'a, Aisha, which is me, Lord me. This is the direct translation. Lord me, Shamayam, Shama. It's heaven. Shema is heaven. Which means what the heavens. Shamayam. Right, which means Shamayam, which means the heaven. And Ma'arataza, Ma, heaven and earth. And earth. And earth. So the literal translation, Lord made heaven and earth. That's the literal translation from the ancient Hebrew. But you know, in English, for it to be able to sound proper or structure in English, they say the Lord which made heaven and earth. But in the direct translation is Lord made heaven and earth. Right? So Aisha, so Yahweh, Aisha is, you know, the made is the translation for made, which is in the translation which means to do or to accomplish or to make, to do some kind of work, to produce something. Right? Aisha can be used in context to that, to make, to do, to produce, to work. So Aisha could be used in that context of made, or to do, or to make work, or to produce. So Yahweh, Aisha, which is Lord in the ancient Hebrew, made Aisha heaven Shamayam. So as you know, heaven is Shamayam in the ancient Hebrew. Shamayam. It can mean heaven or heavens or sky. Right? That firmament, that part of the. So that way when you look up, you will see what? The heavens. Right? So that way it's talking about Shamayam, the heaven or heavens. Right? And Wa Arataza, talking about the earth. Arataza is earth, but Ma Arataza it's not Ma Arataza, it's Wa Arataza. So now can we make that correction? Wa is an. That's it right here. Right? So wa aratiza is the correct translation. Wa ratiza. So Lord made heaven and earth. So you're going to go through a bit more in the sentences. All right, so you have that down. So let's shift on to the other part. Right, so the other part we go into is next sentence, which says, "He will not suffer thy foot to be moved." He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. Right? And to write that in the ancient Hebrew is ayatan. Right? So ayatan, lamova, ragalka, Al Yanawa Somaka Samarka. So this is the English. This is the English translation. So you're going to write the ancient Hebrew now, which is so Ayatan Lamawa La Ma Wa Magalka Ra Ga La Ka Magalka Al Yanawam Ya Na Wa Ya Na Wa Ma Ya Na Wam Shamarka Sha Mar Ka Shamarka Sham Mar Ka. So okay, break down here now. Right, so I'm gonna write out what did I write out the entire thing. He will not suffer thy foot. to be moved. Right, so Lamawaf, or should say Al-Yatan, he will not, he will, right? Nathan, Al-Yatan, Nathan, Al-Yatan, which means he will, right? He will, which means he will do something. Al-Yatan will, he will not, he will not suffer what? Die for. He will not suffer or die for Lamawaf, Regal, or Regal Ka, his foot. That's the sort of philosophy in the Ragal is foot or leg. Or they have it as Regel. And then you have an E. This is what I'll show you here. It's H. A Regel. This means, see there? A foot or leg. Regal Ka is thy foot. Thy foot. Or thy foot, or it could be used as footstool, right? In the different contexts of what is being taught. You want to suffer thy foot what? To be moved. And this for move in the context. So you get a better understanding, because somebody who is translating the Hebrew into the English doesn't carry the full weight, because remember Hebrew is a more direct language. So put it up here. And then moved. So for our next one. You also get in the context. Right? Put it back right in context. To be moved is ma'ah. La mawaf. To be moved. La mawaf. It says mawaf, to move. To move. So it will not, or he will not, right? To suffer thy foot to move. Right, let's go back here again. Let's get the right context. Suffer. Let's suffer thy foot. Right? Ugalka. He will keep. So say he that keepeth thee. Right? Shamarka is keepeth. Right? So he that. Right? Will not slumber. right? So nawam, nawam means to sleep or to slumber, to be drowsy. Right, so literal translation. So nawam, put in blue, is to slumber. It's another. Right, it is slumber. Or it can mean to sleep. Right, if you put it up here, it means to slumber, to be drowsy, to sleep. Right, those are the contexts we could use nawam. Yanawam, yanawam. Okay, he that people thee will not slumber. Right? Al-Ya, right? Tan, al-Yatan, and al-Yanawam will not. So will not slumber, will not suffer. Right? So the direct translation, he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Right? So the translation is Al-Yatan will not suffer. La mawat. Mawat is to move. La mawat, to move. Ragalka, thy foot. So will not suffer to move thy foot. Will not slumber. Will keep. Right? Shamaka or Shama, right, means to watch. Right? Shamaka, the root word is Shama here, which means to watch. Let's have to get out the pen. All right? Shama is to watch. So Shamaka is to keep. Right? Shamaka, it's on the same root word, which is Shama, which means to watch. When you're watching something, you're keeping an eye on it. You're looking at it, you're keeping it. So that is the translation. So will not suffer to move thy foot, will not slumber, watch, or keep it. Right? He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Right? So that is part of the translation. Right? So this is just a snippet of Psalm 121. We're going to continue the rest next week and get a full breakdown of the rest of the scriptures as we go through. You know, one of the scriptures, Psalm 121, that we use to, you know, as we say in our Sabbath services, this is one of the prayers that we say to keep the nation of Israel to the Most High. And with that, I pass the class to Priest and Officer Baria.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18 to 21 and Malachi 3, 8 to 10, means tenth in Hebrew and is pronounced Ma'ashara. 10% of any piece the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of Purim, the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, Thursday, February 25th, and Friday, February 26th, 2021. You could get this in Esther 9, 20 to 31. Remind Wapiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, light shirts, light pants, light headbands or staff. And that we say, imagine. Let's give the teacher one courtesy salute. I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak. Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai Brakata.
Yahweh Ba'asham Brakata.
Ajamata. Let's give the sisters. Let's give the sisters online one courtesy salute. I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Barak. Yahweh Shema Latan Ba'asham Yahushai. Ajamata. Class dismissed.